All right, you ready to do this?
Yep, ready as I'm gonna be.
Here's to crime. Welcome to Comic Squared with Magen Cubed, aided by her young ward. This week's adventure, our two young, intrepid adventurers endeavor to carry on a coherent conversation while consuming copious amounts of alcohol.
Alright, welcome everyone to Comic Squared with Magen Cubed, Episode 2.
Women in Cages.
As always, I'm your host, Magen Cubed, and this is my young ward / meat shield, Blaine.
Yep, how's it going?
Alright, a lot to talk about today. Starting off with the recently released Fantastic Four trailer, which I was not going to talk about, but you made me watch it about 10 minutes ago.
I mean, it's the kind of thing we're doing a podcast about comic books and all the rest of that. This happened this week. It feels like the kind of things it's like neither of us are particularly big fans of Fantastic Four.
You were going to say Captain America, weren't you?
No, well,
how dare you?
Last guy who played Johnny Storm is now currently playing Captain America, so there was a weird crossover. But no, just neither of us are particularly big fans of Fantastic Four for I'd say good reason. As much as we love super science, don't care.
With the exception of the Jonathan Hickman run a couple years back, which was fantastic. No pun intended.
Too late.
Fuck you.
You punned. You punned.
Look, I'm drunk.
You're not even that drunk yet. I'm drunker than
drunk.
you are.
No, I'm pretty drunk. You don't know.
Okay, I'm looking at her glass. She filled that like 20 minutes ago. It's already empty.
You don't know what I got. Anyway, you know what? It was intriguing and also Black Bolt and also War. So,
fair enough.
I mean, I don't really care about the rest of it.
But I love Jonathan Hickman. I love Jonathan Hickman, but I didn't read that run. I tend to. It was like the
War.
War. Okay, fine.
Multiple Reed Richards,
and that's any amount of Reed Richards beginning at 1 is too much for me. I just don't like him. Most people don't.
No, it's like punching Cyclops. Everybody does it. You know? Anyway, back on track. In case you haven't noticed, Fantastic Four is the reboot of the really awful couple movies that came out a few years ago with the aforementioned Chris Evans, now Captain America.
Precious Chris Evans.
Yes. The current cast as Miles Teller as Reed Richards, Kate Mara as Sue Storm, Michael B. Jordan as Johnny Storm, and Jamie Bell as Ben Grimm. So, just real quick, what were your thoughts? As someone who doesn't give two shits about Fantastic Four, about the new trailer for Fantastic Four.
Well, neither of us particularly do, but as far as just how it looks... it kind of reminded me of it. Just from the trailer, it just kind of looked like it was a cross between Interstellar and Super 8.
Yeah, the tone was a little weird. It was like you didn't know what you were looking at.
That in the trailer was narrated by. Okay, forgive me, I don't remember the actor's name, but he played Freddy, the barbecue shack owner in House of Cards.
Yeah. Their dad.
Their dad.
Which I believe, he's cast to play their dad.
Shit, well that makes sense.
He's cast to play their dad.
I didn't even put that
the
together.
Storm family dad.
He's the Storm family dad. In which case, damn. Okay. I mean, I've always liked that guy. I've seen him in a handful of stuff. He was always good. But yeah, I'm
on IMDb right now. The name is Reg E. Cathy, and he plays Dr. Franklin Storm.
Dr. Franklin Storm. Okay, so he's the Storm family forebear.
Yes, he's the patriarch of the Storm.
Which, frankly, if that's the way they're going, it's good choice.
Black super science family.
Black super science family. I'm down for that.
Yeah. I there was some tone. It felt, it's like I don't think that they meant for it to look like either Super 8 or Interstellar, but after these films have come out, you kind of go, oh.
Well, I'm only saying Super 8 because they looked like there was a flashback sequence when they were kids.
Yeah, the kids making stuff in the garage or whatever.
Their kids with their mini looked like a Tesla coil or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
At this point, like if you see little kids in science, you get Spielbergian flashbacks.
Yeah.
To like homage films like Super 8 or E.T. Or even if you go back to like E.T. Even Guardians of the Galaxy had that Spielberg homage in the very beginning about Peter Quill's background.
Yeah.
I really had no idea. Because obviously I did not seek this out. You made me watch it for the sake of the podcast because I was going to be like, no, bitch, not today.
You just want to do this next, but I figured it's like, get it. I was just like, it's news. Get it out of the way at the top of the show.
Soft material. If you hadn't told me that I was going to be watching a Fantastic Four trailer, I wouldn't have thought that it was Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And I sort of appreciate that because at least from the trailer, they've done away with the sort of shiny veneer of like 1960s super science.
Although,
and brought it to a modern age. It feels more mature than those last couple of
It feels more mature than the last few movies, and it also feels like, especially in comparison to, while there were obviously serious moments in the Marvel Disney Studio Marvel movies. Yeah. This is 20th Century Fox. This is 20th Century Fox. Yeah,
this is outside. This is from the same assholes that have brought us the assortments, the various shades of quality of the X-Men movie franchise. So.
But yeah, it definitely seems like they're taking a heavier tone, which
I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it.
Because I don't care.
Because I don't care. Yeah, I can't really nitpick. Exactly. It's just I don't care about Fantastic Four.
Not really.
And basically, I'd be fun if it were for the Fantastic 3 and just do away with Reed Richards. I know he's
if it was
super smart and all,
if it was like the Storm Kids and Ben Grimm and like having adventures.
Just because I don't like Reed Richards, he is just such a pompous dick. Well, frankly, there's so many pompous dicks. When you come to when you come to a Marvel or any protagonist, any sort of comic book protagonist, you get a lot of pompous. When you get into the classic characters, and Reed Richards, well, maybe not initially, definitely
as of recently,
as of the last 10 years or so, very much became that. Anyway,
but I will give him credit. I wasn't gonna ever see this movie ever in my life. I would have probably gone to the grave without ever seeing the Fantastic Four reboot, but that trailer kind of just the production value.
I'm definitely intrigued now.
The tone.
They teased me properly.
They teased me properly, and I enjoyed seeing like in that little part where they're roaming around on the planet or whatever, and there's like lava and they're like dying or something.
Remind me of the opening scene of the second new Trek movies.
Yeah, but not sure, whatever. Which kind of goes back to Super 8.
Yeah. Granted, J.J. Abrams again. So.
But no, I was gonna say like the scene between it was like blink if you miss it, but between the Storms, the siblings, I was like, oh hey, because the thing is like the movies never really address the fact that they're siblings.
Yeah.
She's just sort of like irritated by his presence, and you would have to be close to your brother if you're going to spend 50 years with this asshole living at your house.
Pretty much.
Like banging chicks on the couch, and that's kind of what Johnny Storm does. He just kind of fucks about, brings women home, ruins the day, makes a lot of quips, crashes on, I believe, Spider-Man's couch on occasion, but for the most part, just kind of generally irritates everybody. But those little moments, those little snippets of, oh hey, wonder and science and family dynamics, I'm like, all right, I'll watch it. Yeah. So kudos.
And as kind of things, this is like either it'll be watched either for this podcast or then
or for another podcast.
You go on Chaos Theater, so it's like you'll have to give your 2 cents for them, if not for us.
Hey, Chris and Pedro, pistol wink. But yeah,
pistol wink.
I'll see you about Fantastic Four. But hey, did you hear about the new Ghostbusters reboot? And the fact that that's, speaking of movies. And the fact that that's going to apparently retroactively ruin our childhood. So I've been told on the
As a white man.
Yeah, as a white man.
As a white man, this is truly going to ruin. Yeah. Okay, let's just get in here. It's just like, this is really going to hurt my sense of being as a white man. I mean, this is like all these ladies. Yeah, these ladies. All these ladies being here.
Are busting ghosts.
And ghost busting business is not for ladies. You can answer the phones.
Does it take place in the kitchen? I mean, really.
You can answer the phones. You can't be busting ghosts.
You can't make a sandwich and bust ghosts at the same time.
Let's be real here. Prioritize.
All right, so
first priority, making babies, followed by sandwiches.
Sure, in that exact order. In that precise order. And not And not a moment before the other. Like,
Please.
it has to be perfect timing.
Please understand that I'm being sarcastic.
I don't understand anything that you've just said. I'm a feminazi. No. I'm a mega feminist. As that one guy from my history of English language class pointed out, which, by the way, that joke is still being told in the top floor of the English building. Like, did you hear about that guy last year that's talking about mega feminists? Women still walk the halls of my college talking about that douchebag, and I have classes with him, so that's real funny.
Yeah, that's real funny.
But anyway, in case you were born in a barn, the recent news this week was the all but confirmed casting of Melissa McCarthy.
Well, no, okay, it is the confirmed casting, but they have
They're in talks.
From what I understand, and I've looked at a couple different sources, how it looks is that the casting is pretty much confirmed, but they have not specified which roles.
Yeah, who does what. We have Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig. Duh. That was going to happen no matter what.
Obviously, they had a great shit going on in Bridesmaids, had everyone rolling, so, that goes without saying.
And these two are at the top of their game right now.
Yeah, I mean, as far as, and good to see, especially because the long stigma of female comics. I mean, it's like people before them, as Amy Poehler and Tina Fey. Obviously, they're the precursor to them. Kind of, it was like in the last 10 years or so. Kind of was like, hey, guess what? Women actually are funny.
And speaking of Saturday Night Live, they've been joined by Leslie Jones and Kate McKinnon.
I'm not particularly familiar with that. I haven't watched much SNL.
What
last
I've
couple
seen
of
of
years.
their work, I'm totally.
I've seen like a sketch or two, and they were pretty funny.
They're funny, and I'm totally comfortable with this cast. Yeah. It looks hilarious, and
it definitely looks solid.
I mean, these are four comedians.
Yeah.
That are, I mean, at least 2 out of 4 we know are like field tested.
Yeah, field tested.
Have done great things in the realm of cinema.
Yeah.
If we want to call the Heat cinema, but you know what? I had a great time. I don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah, he was entertaining.
Bridesmaids.
Bridesmaids, obviously. Oh my god. And then also I am drunk, but Kristen Wiig was in Whip It, right?
Whip It.
Yeah, okay,
she
that's
played
right.
the single mom.
Yeah.
Who was offering advice to a not yet out of the closet Ellen Page.
Yes.
Growing up and dealing with her mother.
Well, okay. Okay, Ellen Page is an actress who's yet out of the closet. Was the character? I thought that the character
no, she was straight.
Yeah, the character was straight.
I'm just being witty. Fuck you. Anyway, okay, but here's the stipulation. Everyone keeps throwing out the 2 distinct phrases, reboot and remake.
Yeah.
I have not heard any confirmation either way
as
to if it is in fact a reboot, which is just 4 characters who are all women who happen to be Ghostbusters, or a remake, which is where all 4 of these women take the roles.
Play Venkman,
Yeah, who play Stance, Venkman, Egon, and then Zedmore.
Zedmore, yeah.
Judging by the color of the people being cast, I'm going to go out on a limb and say remake.
Pretty much, yeah.
With all of these women playing specific roles.
I'm hoping Kristen Wiig plays Bill Murray's character. Venkman, yeah.
Yes. I'm just going to say Melissa McCarthy's going to be playing Raymond Stantz.
And while on one hand, given the what you've seen from Melissa McCarthy, it would kind of make more sense for her to play Venkman, I kind of hope they play her against type a little bit, because I think that would be a better balance.
She's done a lot of like that over-the-top crazy kind of like asshole character.
And while that is hilarious...
Oh, sure.
While it's hilarious, I think it would be better, and just for the movie itself, especially, and just for her to play against type, for her to play the straight man with Kristen Wiig being the asshole, I think would be a lot stronger.
That'd be really funny. And I would love to see her, I'd love to see Kristen Wiig playing Venkman.
Yeah.
Just straight up being a sleazy creep.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, you can romanticize Venkman all you want. He was a sleazy creep. And a shyster and a con man. And it was, at least in the second movie. I don't think we're going to... he was... psychic talk show.
Okay, he was... that much was established in the very first scene of Ghostbusters.
But I mean, it was...
Okay, not the first scene, but it's like the first established scene, with him at the college little psychic course, at the SARS psychic experiment. Him shocking the other dude, trying to hit on the one one blonde co-ed. So obviously, dodgy.
Yeah,
ethically very dodgy,
morally a little shaky. Now, I think that'd be really fun to see her play, but this raises the question: if it is in fact a remake, there are still 3 very important roles that need to be filled.
Yes,
and you have to understand. I have personally, since the talks of an all-female Ghostbusters remake have been started like circulating around the internet, I have spent hours of my life laying awake at night planning the rest of the cast.
So have I.
Yes, and
okay, yeah. Basically, we're catching up. We've had long conversations arguing about who would be the best for like a couple of the characters.
Okay, because there are 3. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of like other people play, but the most important characters that need to be addressed.
First up.
Okay, no.
Okay.
Oh, we have Sigourney Weaver's character, Dana Barrett.
Which easily switchable to Dan Barrett.
Dan Barrett, yes. Or Damon Barrett.
Or Damon Barrett or whatever else.
Sigourney Weaver, flawless. She was probably my favorite character in those stupid movies. Like, I love Ghostbusters. I spent most of my early formative years with a proton pack strapped to my backside.
She did. I have photographic evidence.
Yes, from the ages of 4 through about 10.
This photograph might surface by the time this podcast reaches the air.
I spent most of my formative years running around in makeshift, like, Ghostbusters cosplay. You know, basically, it was a deal.
Yeah.
We had the traps, we had the proton packs, we had all the action figures. It was a fucking ordeal, okay?
We had the Ghostbusters car, we watched the cartoon.
And play the video games. This was important. So you have Dana Barrett, who is my favorite character from the first 2 films.
Yeah.
I don't believe she was in the cartoon versions.
No.
It's been a hot minute. I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say no, but whatever. It's been like 20 years.
We're going to do a gender swapped version.
Yes.
Who would be your pick for a Dan or Damon Barrett for Kristen Wiig's Venkman to creep upon?
Okay, well, we've already discussed this. It's fucking Matt Bomer.
That would be a flawless choice.
Precious Matt Bomer.
Precious Matt Bomer with his perfect teeth and his perfect blue eyes. When I see him, I just want to wrap him up in blankets.
In case you don't remember, from USA's White Collar.
Every girl on the internet knows about White Collar.
I know. I'm just putting out, just covering bases.
For the sake of feels, HBO's
Normal
Hearts, which I cried.
Yeah.
Like, literally, you could have nuked the rest of that cast as long as I got to keep Matt Bomer. He is a precious angel. He is charming, he is smart, he is funny, and he is vulnerable.
Yes.
And he would be very good for the no-nonsense, get the fuck off me. I am a classically trained musician. Yes. I have places to be.
He's a cellist. Me. He has things in his fridge that he is concerned about.
Yes, get off me, Petra Venkman, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
I would really love that. And also Patricia Venkman. There we go.
Venkman.
That's what we're
gonna. Patricia Venkman.
Patricia Venkman. I would pay cash money to see the 80s hair and the sexy outfits and the slinking around while possessed. Cash money. He would be flawless in that role.
I am the gatekeeper. Are you the key master?
Are you the key master? I'm into that. All right. Yeah. So one of the other very important roles would be Janine Melnitz, who was played by Annie Potts in the original, which is the sort of comedic for in a sea of comedians was a very nice
balance, and our pick, or at least the person that we would want to see fill that role, and not that we're expecting people, whoever in charge of this, to be listening, but if you are, please, for the love of God, just because it would be hilarious, get fucking Moshe Kasher.
Because in terms of 80s Annie Potts, he looks real fucking close.
He looks real fucking close.
And his sense of humor is so good.
And he's Jewish.
Melnitz, yeah.
Oh, no, Pilnitz. Yeah, Melnitz.
Yeah,
I was thinking Melnitz. Potts. Yeah,
I mean, we could. Yeah, Annie Potts. But I mean, I would love to see the Starkey put upon long-suffering
Ghostbusters. How may I help you?
Yeah.
Male secretary.
Male secretary is Moshe Kasher. I besides doing at midnight. What's he doing? Really?
Oh no, he has.
Besides entertaining me on Twitter, which he does on a regular basis.
Well, he put a book out in the last couple months, Casher in the Rye.
Yeah, that was from a while back.
Oh, I'm gonna say, but he has a book out in recent. In the last few months, he has a book out. He's a working stand-up. He's touring.
But I'm just saying, who would be better for that role?
Fucking Motion Casher.
All right, and for me, one of the most important roles next to obviously Dana Barrett would be Louis Tully.
My favorite, or at least my favorite choice for for gender swapping.
Louis Tully, played
Rick
by
Moranis.
Rick Moranis. Yes. Now, what's your choice? And I'll back it up for you.
Maria fucking Bamford.
Who would be perfect as the awkward creep neighbor slinking up on beautiful, beautiful Matt
That's
Bomer.
the thing. She already has the perfect track record because there are commercials of her making awkward voices in a tracksuit.
Yeah, I mean,
she's already done her audition tape.
I know.
For Louis Tully. Louis Tully.
Yeah, if you've seen her stand up, you would know it would be perfect. And I would love to see them actually commit to a gender swapped cast.
Yes.
Because then you could have morally ambiguous, creepy ass women.
Yeah. Like
on this dude's dick.
Yeah.
And he has to be saved at the end of the movie. That would be flawless.
This would be hilarious. This is the only way to. This is especially because the original Ghostbusters is so perfect. So perfectly stupid and everything else, and I love that movie.
So perfectly 80s. This would be the...
So perfectly 80s and so perfectly stupid and ridiculous and so much fun.
If they gender swap it, but keep those same archetypes...
Yes.
It would totally bring it into the 21st century.
I would be so down for an almost shot-for-shot, almost line-for-line remake of Ghostbusters. Just...
Maybe without the libertarian themes.
Okay, some libertarian themes, but...
I could do without some of that. Oh, in other news, did you hear that the 10th Doctor is going to be the Purple Man and a.k.a. Jessica Jones coming soon from Netflix?
Yes, David Tennant.
Yes, everyone's favorite Doctor, cough, I loved 9, cough.
Okay, I fucking love Tennant. I love David Tennant.
I love David Tennant.
David Tennant.
I'm not saying anything about David Tennant.
Faults on...
I'm just being a shitty Whovian.
Okay, faults on the 10 run... That's just like some of the the Pollyanna, not Pollyanna. What's the term for
Mary
it?
Sue.
The Mary Sue shit, like with Rose.
Sure.
Yeah, that's fucking Russell T Davies. I have problems with that. We have problems with the current run as well.
Oh, so many. Anyway,
and as much as we love fucking Stephen Moffat,
sure.
God, he needs a chain.
But
anyway. Yes, so David Tennant has been recently confirmed to play the Purple Man, Zebediah Kilgrave. Zebediah Kilgrave.
In Marvel's a.k.a. Jessica Jones on Netflix.
I'm definitely excited. Purple Man has always... I'm not the most familiar with Purple Man from everything I've seen about him, from just watching like some stupid cartoons and some other stuff. It's like mostly a weird, gross, rapey feeling character.
I mean, I think, like, unless you've been, like, reading comics for a long time, Purple Man does not jump out at you as, like, a top-tier villain. I think maybe something to do with it, maybe the clever title might have something to do with the fact that it's not standing out all that well. The fact that he's just a purple guy.
And he is referred to as Purple Man.
Yeah, that is a little lazy. I think
it was like 63,
sure,
64.
Sure.
I think 64.
Reoccurring villain. He's fought most people. I think most casual fans are familiar with Purple Man when he was played by Brent Spiner in Marvel's
Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I'm too drunk. The Disney show.
Yes.
Which was pretty ridiculous.
Yes.
The episode Emperor Stark, which had very creepy implications.
Yes.
Kind of got pretty stupid towards the end. Anyway, I think like most average MCU type fans who've come in from the TV shows, from the movies, are going to know Purple Man from that. Okay,
so quick go through Zebediah Kilgrave.
Yeah.
Yugoslavian spy, if I remember correctly, ended up in some chemical thing, whatever else.
Yeah,
she's looking at the Wikipedia.
Spy.
Yeah, physician turned spy. We're not gonna lie, we don't care about Purple Man, so we're looking at the Wikipedia. physician turned spy, ends up in the chemical plant exposed to chemicals, turns his hair and skin purple.
As the name would suggest.
As the name would suggest, not dissimilar from Joker, but the difference in this case is that the chemicals he was exposed to manipulated his DNA, not just his skin, but also his DNA, yes. Causing him to release pheromones that were intoxicating and manipulative to all others around him, allowing him to manipulate psychologically people within earshots, essentially. If they were in smelling and hearing distance, he could convince them of any number of things. Even things that would be against their will, murder, rape, other nasty business. And one thing I think is funny, and one thing I was curious about, because there have been references in the comics that Purple Man is aware that he is living in a comic book, and he has some similar to Deadpool fourth wall breaking nonsense. So I'm kind of curious if there's going to be, because this is Netflix, and because as far as the TV series of Netflix goes, that it was something built by House of Cards. If there's going to be some Frank Underwood moments.
Well, in a recent interview, even David Tennant was talking about, basically, don't count him as just a villain. Like, they're in the Netflix series, there may be some more layers to the character. He may not be specifically villainous. He may serve an alternate purpose in the story, in Jessica's life. It's his role in her life is very
obviously this is based on the Alias Jessica Jones series from Marvel, and I want to say 2003.
It was the early to mid 2000s.
2004, I think. I'm blanking, but so they're taking. I understand because they have to pull this into the MCU continuity and everything else. Just with that, there are liberties taken, things rearranged for arguably, in most cases, better ends than established canon in many respects. So
we'll see.
We'll just have to wait and see. We're probably gonna be seeing that in May or June, I believe.
Something like that.
I know Daredevil's premiering.
First.
Daredevil's premiering in May.
That comes first.
And then I know we're going to be seeing Jessica Jones in the couple months following. So probably August by the latest.
Yeah, from what I understand, and I may be wrong because I have been drinking, they're going to introduce Luke Cage in this, and then Luke Cage might be... They've already casted Luke Cage. Let me look that up. That is Mike Coulter. I believe that they're going to be introducing him here, and then he's going to get his own show later as they develop that. So I think it's going to be Daredevil, a.k.a. Jessica Jones, and then Luke Cage, Power Man, depending on how they want to spin that, and then Immortal Iron Fist.
Yeah, Iron Fist.
If it is immortal or not. Again, it depends on how
there's
they want to
spin it. There's going to be an
it.
Iron Fist story. Again, another...
You have to talk to my girlfriend about her immense Danny Rand love. She and I are looking forward to the Iron Fist show. I'm looking forward to all the Netflix shows.
Yes.
But more specifically, I'm not like we said before, not super into this particular storyline that they're deriving. I've read it.
Yes.
It's good. The thing about Jessica Jones is that she's kind of the ultimate B-lister. She was set up to be a B-lister.
Yeah, no, although frankly, for that reason, I'm more interested in Jessica Jones than Daredevil.
Yeah, because...
I'm totally excited for Daredevil, but I'm more interested for Jessica Jones.
Yeah, she was created by Brian Michael Bendis for the Alias storyline, or the Alias series. She is, like I said before, the ultimate B-lister, in case you're not familiar with her, because a lot of people aren't.
Yeah.
She was, like... a halfway point between Carol Danvers and Jessica Drew.
Yeah.
Sort of like a pastiche.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I didn't necessarily have access to either of these characters, so I'm just going to make my own version. She, went to high school with Spider-Man, followed very archetypal storylines to get to the point where she became a superhero, had a very... a very underwhelming superhero career.
A very non-noteworthy. Very noteworthy.
Until she ends up getting kidnapped by Purple Man.
Even then, and that was the kind of the rub, and that was the painful aspect of her storyline, the sheer fact that she was kidnapped by Purple Man. She was this, fourth string superhero going by under the alias of Jewel.
Yeah.
Hopefully without the yodeling.
Let us hope.
Let us hope without the yodeling. Anyway, sorry, bad joke. But yeah, so she was a third-string superhero, fought beside Avengers a little bit, more or less in the background. At least that was the way that it was put forth. But very unmemorable. And then she gets kidnapped by Purple Man, psychologically broken down and reprogrammed to target Daredevil
over the course of a year.
Over the course of months to a year.
Yeah.
Okay, over the course of several months to a year, can't remember exactly. Broken down psychologically and reprogrammed to be more or less an assassin.
Yeah.
To try to kill Daredevil and some other members of the Avengers. So yeah, Purple Man, not a fun character.
Not a fun character, but I think it's going to be very interesting to watch.
I'm definitely glad that's just because I just like Purple Man from the most of things. I've looked into some things from our comics that he was appeared in. I've read, and obviously the cartoon where he appeared in. I mean, obviously very gross, but not very interesting. It's just like, oh god,
not particularly memorable.
Yeah, not memorable, but it's just like I have the greatest faith in David Tennant.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that he brings a really. Although I'm a little afraid just because I mostly see David Tennant, it's just like, because David Tennant, he's the Doctor for me.
He's so fun.
He's my that's my Doctor feels. I got into New Who with 10 under David Tennant.
Yeah.
And so that's how I feel about that. So it's all the long jacket, the Converse, and everything, the pinstripe suit.
So you're not happy to see him as a rapey, emotionally manipulative bastard?
No, not really.
That's what makes me excited.
I'm not happy to see. I trust him enough and know that he's a strong enough actor that he would bring enough gravitas and interesting shit to that.
Yes.
So I'm definitely excited and curious to see it.
Absolutely. Yeah, so gonna see it anyway, but definitely more excited now.
Yes.
Also, I didn't realize that Patsy Walker is gonna be in it as well.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I love Patsy Walker.
Yeah.
She is so much fun, and she's like, again, one of those like B-listers that very few people like in the mainstream know about. She doesn't have a lot of like. I don't think she's ever really had like any sort of like cartoon or video game appearances. I didn't think so. And she's definitely not in the MCU.
Not that comes to mind anyway.
She's definitely not in the MCU. So
no, exactly, it's the same sort of the notions that with Jessica Jones is like they created a character, playing with the character that was fourth string at best.
Yeah, total B-list.
And this is a superhero that gives up the game and becomes a private detective, and for the majority of the point, disregards her powers.
Yeah. So, it's going to be fun, especially after all of the opera of the MCU, especially with Age of Ultron, and now the Civil War business. And,
oh, God.
Yeah.
The Civil Infinity pile.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be very interesting. I'm very interested in the Netflix shows because they'll hopefully get into those nitty-gritty character stories that you don't get to see on the big screen.
With any luck, yeah.
Yeah, that they don't necessarily get to on like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is sort of dancing around with like MCU tie-in stuff. Agent Carter is good, but I'm definitely looking forward to...
yes, Agent Carter is great.
Yep. If you're not watching it, shame on you.
Just, if nothing else, just for Haley Atwell.
Who's a treat.
Kicking all of the ass and... Okay, yeah, I'm human male. Goddamn hot.
Yeah.
Anyway, doesn't matter.
So, Netflix show is going to be fun to watch.
Yes.
On that note of comic booky business, let's shift gears to the topic of the podcast, comic books.
Women in cages.
This week, to sort of solidify the format of the show, I would like to, instead of just doing a shit ton of comic reviews, while we're getting drunk,
try to focus on 1 to 2.
Yeah.
At least one. Okay, probably just the one this week.
This week I definitely want to talk about, for the comic book of the week, Bitch Planet #2 from Image Comics.
Yes, Kelly Sue DeConnick.
And Valentine Delandro. I could be slaughtering his name. Valentine. Let's see.
I'm gonna go with Valentine.
Yeah, okay, we're gonna go with that.
Valentine Delandro. It just sounds better.
Yep. If you have been living under a rock, shame on you, because this is one of my favorite books, one of the best books to come out late last year. It is a fantastic dystopic social commentary
that mostly the majority of the narrative plays in a sort of, and very much also played within just the art and everything else. It's the 70s just
exploitation film,
schlock and all, grindhouse sort of shit.
Yeah,
but it's playing about future dystopic. Women are, oh god, subjugated so far down that basically, okay, best way to say it, non-compliance is the biggest thing. Basically, if you don't conform to essentially a way that a man wants you to, you are sent to the, obviously that's the title of the book. It's called Bitch Planet, but what's the official name of the place?
They refer to it as the ACO.
The ACO.
Yeah, it's their off-world prison colony for women.
Called Bitch Planet for short.
They call it Bitch Planet for short. It basically, if you're anything but the patriarchy, the man, their idealized version of what a woman should be, which is silent, obedient, hopefully white, better be pretty, and you better be thin. And you better shut the fuck up when your husband tells you what to do.
And be pretty much ready for sex.
Yeah, and you better be ready for sex. And
whenever, pretty much at the drop of a hat.
That's kind of the vibe we're getting. So if you don't meet any of this criteria, your ass is labeled as non-compliant, and you go to Bitch Planet. I love this book.
Yes.
Let's just start up by saying I love this book. The first issue was a little jarring because it just drops you off right at the processing center.
Yeah.
This
new batch of girls are being brought in and going through the process. Strips, getting the uniformed, cataloged. Yeah, getting the uniforms. I remember one of the big parts in the first issue was one of the characters. I don't remember her name at the moment, but basically Penny Roll. They gave her uniform, and she was saying, "Where are my tits gonna go?"
Yeah,
because she's a big lady, and her tits don't fit in this tiny ass little jumper that they gave her. It's like, where the fuck are my tits gonna go?
Yeah, because fun fact, one size fits all. That's a lie.
Yes.
Same way with pockets on pants.
Yes.
If you're a woman, you know this fact. Anyway, I love this book. Like I said, the first chapter really kind of drops you off right in the middle. Doesn't give you a whole lot of background. Sets you up following a character named Marion, who you assume is
gonna be the protagonist.
They're kind of playing on the whole Piper situation with Orange is the New Black, and then her ass gets shanked
by the end of the issue
by the powers that be, not by a prisoner.
No,
but by
the powers that be, and more importantly, by her husband, by her former husband.
Yeah, because having her alive keeps him from remarrying his new hot mistress, and that's a no-go. Yeah. He's got to have his hot, young snatch, and old wife's got to go. Yeah. So, I love the first issue, but it was a little jarring, because you're like, it basically, you have a setup, you have a
very, very brief, I would say more philosophical setup, and it's like, you're, not to discredit the book, but I'm still trying to get my feet wet in what exactly is going on.
And then next thing you know, bam, naked prison riot.
Yeah, naked prison riot.
Yeah. So the first issue definitely had some left some people wondering. That was some of the criticism that I saw. People didn't really get enough background information. Issue 2 finally does a little bit of world building, sets the stage for the tone of the bloated, corrupt, patriarchal government. The gross.
The heads of state, by the way, are referred to as fathers.
Yes, which tells you everything
you need to know.
If you've ever taken a feminist theory or feminist literary criticism class, you just like slow clap to this book.
I haven't, but I see the beats. I still see the beats.
Yeah. Basically, the powers that be have privatized prisons. Yes. Which is a problem that America is facing as well. Yeah. Which I love the parallels between this and Orange is the New Black. Like, I love the fact that they've come out close enough together that you can kind of see the same driving criticism. about American life.
Yes.
About the prison system, about poverty, about racism, about sexism, about the expectations of women and society and the home and the workplace and all of that. Not to say that it is in any way a companion piece or anything.
No.
A lot of comparisons. I even made that comparison to Orange is the New Black in my review of the first issue.
Oh, okay. The best comparison can be made. It's Orange is the New Black in space on fucking steroids.
Yes, because this book doesn't give a shit if you don't like it.
No.
I mean, Kelly Sue DeConnick, God bless her, or I guess Cthulhu bless her, or Satan bless her, or however you roll, Woden, whatever, however you roll. Doesn't give a shit.
No.
I mean, this is her book. I mean, you can see, like, there was feminist criticism in Captain Marvel. There's feminist criticism in Pretty Deadly.
Yeah.
But this book is in your face. And I love that. Basically, the powers that be, in true, like, Roman form, it's the whole bread and circuses thing. We keep the people pacified
by giving them violent entertainment.
Yeah, by oppressing lower classes or secondary classes.
We satiate them by giving them violent entertainment. Yes.
The means of the violent entertainment, true to like Hunger Games, to
Battle Royale, and some other stuff.
Yeah, it's like when you get to that dystopic level of everything sucks. Let's do bread and circuses.
What was that? Death Race.
Death Race, exactly. The women in the prison are forced to set up teams to fight each other. The execution of this is still vague. It's only issue 2.
Although it does seem like that this is the first that she is Cam, the main character. The main character is being basically charged with assembling and galvanizing the first team to go into this sort of game.
It seems that way.
It doesn't seem like that Bitch Planet has ever been involved with this sort of thing before.
Yeah.
It seemed like this will be the first instance.
Yeah. So Cam, who's been recently falsely accused of killing Mary, and again she was shanked by the powers that be. It was a government sanctioned hit, basically, from her husband to simplify his life and all his paperwork so he can marry his mistress. Anyway, Cam, who tried to defend her at the end of the last issue from marauding prison guards and prisoners, is blamed for it as a means to break her down. She's put in what I assume is the Bitch Planet equivalent of isolation or she's thrown in the hatch.
Yeah, she's thrown in the hatch.
They're trying to break her down in order to get her to take, I guess, her role as the head of this team, because she's the most proficient, she's the smartest, she's the most capable, she's the deadliest out of these recent, I guess, prisoners that have been taken to Bitch Planet. And it's all an attempt to break her down, to get her to become compliant and play into the state's game, basically to go into Hunger Game mode.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want it, but she does slowly over the issue realize that this does give her a position of power. Yeah. This does give her a position to use that power to get what she wants.
Or at least
for her family.
Or at least through the issue where she's coming to that realization.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they're trying to take Cam out of the other secondary class of enslaved women. Particularly women of color. I mean, I really love that Kelly Sue has been very, very clear about the racial issues in this book. Yes. That it's mostly women of color that are targeted for being non-compliant, because the fact that they are not pretty white women occupying space, they are non-compliant. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the essays in the back matter that further that discussion about intersectionality and feminism. I really, really applaud that, because you don't see that discussion in mainstream comics. Not really. Not like it's talked about, it's danced around, but with the exception of ham-fisted PSAs about racism, very, very few books talk about it in a good way, in a helpful way, in a
Very
contextualized way, and as schlock and awe as Bitch Planet design.
I know. I think that's my favorite part of it. The fact is they're doing it as it's like, hey, we're going to talk about some severe feminist issues, but we're going to do it in arguably one of the dumbest ways possible.
Yeah, sure. But,
but it feels like it's just like, if any ways, especially for the sake of a comic book, I would say dumb. I don't mean to say that as a negative thing, but it's just like as the 70s exploitation of schlock and all sort of thing.
Yeah.
It feels like the cheapest way possible, which I love. Yeah. That they went bottom rung.
Yeah.
It's like we dig in deep and then raise up.
Yeah.
We go in low and then go up.
Yeah, it's highbrow. It's highbrow, like
high lowbrow.
High lowbrow, exactly.
Which, frankly, I mean, and I would say it would be the best argument of. When you go back to any form of science fiction, as particularly in science fiction, it's like you use the medium to tell more important stories. It's science fiction, so it's future, dystopic, prison planet. Yeah. That has so many very wild setups you could have for a sci-fi story.
Yeah, exactly.
For an exploitative sci-fi story. They go for, women in cages to argue feminism.
Yeah. And classism.
And racism. And sexism.
And the...
everything.
The corporatization of the prison system.
Yes, corporatization of the prison systems.
Yeah. Another thing that I really, really love, and not just in this issue, but the first issue as well, is that Delandro has this knack for using every aspect of the panel to tell the story. Yes. You have the protagonist who's sitting there talking to someone who's doing the main action, and then you have all of those little things in the background that set up the larger world and the larger context. Like the opening cocktail party, and you see what I assume is like the maitre d' or whoever, like kind of harassing this cocktail waitress. You see
slapping her on the ass.
Yeah, and you see the male cooks fighting in the background because, I mean, that's what happens in a kitchen. Like, you and I both have worked restaurants long enough to know that people jock for power. In all aspects of society in every place, especially the workplace.
One thing I'm definitely curious to see, just because they were much more prominent in the first issue, but less so in this issue.
Yeah.
They seem like that the technicians monitoring the cameras and setting up running systems and everything else. They seem like they could be a really good function of a Greek chorus.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how that works out.
I really want to see that. They remind me a little bit of the old guys from the Muppets. I forget their names at the moments, but they feel like they function that classical use of the Greek chorus, commenting
on the stupidity of everything
going on.
Yeah, of everyone and everything. Another thing that I really liked that was very subtle that I get, most feminist critics, feminist like students get, in the cocktail party.
Yes.
With the exception of the cocktail waitresses who are in short skirts and are kind of slinking about, almost all the women that you see in the panel have their mouths covered.
Yes.
They have their faces covered. And not in any way that would imply like fashion or religious devotion, but just that they have their mouths obviously covered.
Yes.
All the men are walking around talking to people, but the women are just standing there with their faces covered or their mouths covered, silent.
Yes.
I love that. I mean, just little tiny details like that.
Oh, you love that / hate that.
No. I love that they
made that choice.
Yeah, that Delandro. That those very like subtle, like but poignant ways to talk about the oppression at work here.
Yeah.
That you have all of these, very thin, seemingly lovely, the high society women who have their mouths covered, who are to remain silent while the men talk about business. That perfectly shows, the sort of subtle horror here when you think about that. I mean, obviously you have the horror of Bitch Planet and the dehumanization and Cam's moral struggle with playing into the system or to remain non-compliant, But it's moments like that where you look at it and you see, or like when Penny is beating the crap out of guards in the background of the exercise scene.
I know. I kept looking back to watching that fight, watching that fight evolve in the background.
Yeah, and then everyone else starts the people that Cam's talking to begin leaving the scene to join in because it's like, fuck it, we're all going in, and that tells
fight
the story.
Time.
Yeah, it tells this great story about the sort of like just the camaraderie.
That's a subtle way to give context for everything that's going on.
Yeah, I love that little details like that where you see, the community within the prison, the sense of sisterhood to one extent or the other. Also, Penny's awesome.
Yes.
Penny is the best.
Penny is hilarious.
And
badass.
Yeah, and I would just love to see more and more Penny. Yeah. Yeah. Not just in the background.
I know, no, but in the foreground, just because that was one of the things that, I mean, although it was the weird sort of juxtaposition, it was angry, it was something that was, something to make you angry, but simultaneously funny. It was just like, where are my tits gonna fit?
Yeah.
Where do my tits go in this outfit? I keep going back to that, but where are my tits gonna go in this jumper?
Yeah, you're just like, love it. That tells you everything you need to know about the character. And 2015, if this is going to be the year and we have more essays in the back matter,
yes,
I'm loving it.
Oh God,
I feel like most books should start having essays in the back matter. All right, so any other thoughts to add?
No, I think we're about done for this episode.
All right, I think we're good. Thank you for joining us on our second episode of Comics Squared. Once again, I'm Magen Cubed.
I'm Blaine, her young ward.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Here's to crime.
Bye, everybody.